basketball has won 5 games in a row.
I heard that.
Yeah, and I know that the man that you're about to hear from is well dialed in on that as well. AJ Dybantsa is back for our weekly segment. BYU Signee, #1 player in the country. On topic today, some McDonald's All-American banter, how he feels about being mocked, or I should say put in the mock draft at #2 instead of #1.
It's like being mocked, I guess, if he's 2, right?
And his plea of sorts for Richie Saunders and Egor Demin to stick around and play another year. This is AJ Dybantsa on BYU Sports Nation. AJ, always good to catch up with you on BYU Sports Nation and count down the days to the time you're putting on a BYU uniform. And what a time for BYU men's basketball. Let's just rewind a little bit as the Cougars dismantled Kansas at the Marriott Center and followed that up with an emotional, hard-fought road win at Arizona. What are you seeing from your future team that you like most right now?
I'm seeing a lot of chemistry. I think that they've been bonding off the court because I can just see it like we're throwing lobs. We're seeing guys in the corner that teams wouldn't see. So I think that bond is really like sparking on the court now.
What was your reaction to the Kansas game and how lopsided that got?
No, that was crazy because obviously Kansas is always ranked in the top 25. So I'm like, it's going to be a hard-fought game. And obviously I was excited, but I was like, wait, this isn't like supposed to happen due to ranks-wise. But I had faith in my guys and we pulled it off.
Well, then BYU, obviously, as I mentioned, go to Tucson and a back-and-forth game. Incredibly fun offensive game to watch on both sides. Comes down to a dramatic call. In your opinion, AJ, was that a foul against Richie Saunders?
Yeah, the ref called a foul. It was a foul. The ref called a foul. If it was called a foul, it was called a foul. I have no say. I'm not a ref. I'm a basketball player. So I have no say.
I love that. A veteran answer on your part. BYU, and speaking of Richie Saunders, he's pacing to be first team, second team, all Big 12 player. What do you think of Richie Saunders' play as he's kind of come to the forefront as BYU's best player this season?
It'll be fun next year. Hopefully he doesn't leave us, but it'll be fun next year for sure.
That leads me to my next question. Yeah, how much do you think about what could be next year if a guy like Richie Saunders decides to come back? And frankly, for that matter, if one of your other guys, Egor Demin, decides to come back for a year.
So definitely, you think both sides, like, okay, if he was to come back, then it'll be what it is. But you want to think the worst. So like, okay, if he wasn't coming back, who else would we have on the roster spot? But it'll be great for both of those guys to come back. But only God knows.
How do you see yourself fitting with BYU, whether Richie and Egor come back or not in the roster next year?
I think we'll fit in just fine. I think we'll have 2 to 3 guys guaranteed coming back who play major minutes anyway. So, we're still going to be on our 25 ranked poll, and we're still going to make a turnaround, I think.
No question. The Marriott Center will be absolutely electric. In fact, what are you looking forward to most about donning the BYU jersey and actually getting on the floor to play for BYU?
The Rock. I just want to see, because I'd be in the Rock in the second half, but I want to see when I'm playing. I want to see how it is.
You want to feel it? You want to interact with the Rock after a big dunk? Okay.
Exactly.
All right. First things first. Obviously, let's get to your calendar because in early March you got another big basketball tournament coming up in South Carolina. What do you expect as you go again across the country to compete with Utah Prep?
Tough games. Obviously, we're playing a Jersey team first, I think. So it'll be good competition. If we win 3 in a row, we have a good chance of making the Chipotle Nationals. So, just making that run.
You and I were talking offline about how you balance schoolwork and basketball, and you told me you're trying to get ahead of the curve. What's that like in your daily schedule as you try and get ahead in school and get good grades, because you do, so that you can focus on just the basketball?
Yeah, you have to have good grades to be able to play, so you can't just dismiss the school side of it. But a lot of my teachers are flexible and they can put modules out in ahead. So I like getting stuff done. Well, I do be procrastinating, but now since school's about to end in April, I try to get ahead of the work. So when the schedule packs up, I have to go to McDonald's and everything. I don't have to do work while I'm trying to focus and have fun.
Yes, because that also awaits you, the McDonald's All-American scenario. So how much of a time requirement is that as you build up to that game? What's that schedule like?
We have the games in South Carolina. We'll play our semifinals in Salt Lake, actually, for a grind session. Hopefully we win, and we'll go to, I think it's in Dallas this year for the championship. And then after that, McDonald's will be on April Fool's, yeah.
Okay. Hey, no April Fools here. AJ is legit. A McDonald's All-American. AJ Dybantsa on BYU Sports Nation. We mentioned what you felt watching BYU beat Kansas and Arizona and how the Cougars have got on this climb and they're in the national rankings. What's it like to do so with Xavier State and another future teammate of yours? Are you watching the games together often or is it separated?
No, actually, the Arizona game we watched. We came back after our game. We watched the second half. We watched at the end of the first and the second half, and we were like screaming because it was like bucket after bucket. We were like screaming. So I think Demin posted on the story that we were watching it together. But not all the games. We can't watch all the games because we play at similar times sometimes. But we do watch a couple games together.
I love that imagery and the idea of you guys just chest bumping and screaming and let's go, because it's a great time for BYU. Obviously, they've got some work to take care of. They're trying to finish in the top 5, maybe the top 4 of the Big 12. What do you think the Cougars are going to do over their final 4 games, AJ, as they get ready for Kansas City in the Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, we played 4 games, 4 tough games. Obviously, Arizona State today should be a win. Never underestimate, but should be a win. Iowa State will probably be our toughest one. But I mean, you got to go on the road. You got to win some. I'll be at the West Virginia game though, so I'll be cheering in the Rock, and I'll try to get Xavier to come, but I don't know if he'll make it. But I will be at the West Virginia game.
Let's go, AJ,
I'll be
in the house at the Marriott Center on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we got to do to get Xavier to come with you? We got to get the Rock going so that they can put out the plug for him on social media.
On the schedule. It depends on the schedule. We don't have any games, so I don't know if he's going back to Vegas, but I'm free, so I'm going.
There is an opening in your schedule. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday back in the Marriott Center. Certainly making your way back into the Rock. Now, I do want to ask you about something that came out recently from ESPN's Jonathan Givony, who is an NBA draft expert. And we've talked a lot about how you're stacking up in that 2026 class. He listed you as the number 2 overall pick in the 2026 draft. I know we're a long way away from that, but how do you take to that news and the idea of being number 2?
I didn't even see that, so that's news to me. But I mean, it's always a blessing to be in that lottery rank. It's a blessing to get drafted. But I mean, we try to aim for the top, so we're trying to get that number 1 spot. It's still a mock draft, so we still got a year. So we still got a year to work, so we'll be fine.
Yes, perspective, my friends. See, I knew this was how you were going to answer this question, but we have to ask because it did just come out. How much does that matter? Like the idea of being the number 1 pick in a draft to you?
I mean, it doesn't matter a lot because, like I said, we have a year. So I mean, they can say all they want. Stuff happens. So I mean, there's been guys that's been unranked, that's been lotteries, there's been guys that's been top 3 picks that aren't in the NBA no more. So it's just, it don't really matter, just trying to get there and try to work.
Love the Real Talk with AJ Dybantsa on BYUSN. AJ, some fan-submitted questions, okay? We've talked about shoes. We've talked about food. This one actually goes with something we were talking about. How do you feel like your chemistry would be if you are on the court with Egor Demin next season?
No, I'll be special. Definitely, he's a natural playmaker. So I mean, I think we'll have some highlight plays. I think some behind the back passes to threes. I think some no look lobs. I think some off the backboard lobs. So I think it'll be exciting.
Okay, we know you are an elite dunker. Second fan question comes in and says, "How does AJ think Xavier is as a dunker?"
All right, it's not Xavier. It's like 7'1". So, like, that's like an unfair question. But, I mean, for someone who's 7'1", he does get off the ground very fast. But, like, if we're talking about dunk package, he doesn't have a lot to really work with because he's super lengthy. But, I mean, if I had to rank it out of 10 for someone that's 7'1", like 7. 7 out of 10.
Okay, nice fair number there as you rank Xavier's dunk capability. Okay, and then third and final fan question. If you, AJ, could schedule any team for BYU to play next season on the schedule, Who would you want the Cougars to put on their schedule?
Ooh. Tough question. We're gonna play a good amount of games. But just because Stephen A said it, I'm gonna say Duke. Just because Stephen A was just like, yo, why can't you play Duke? So since he said it, I'm gonna just say Duke. I know a lot of guys on that team. I've been playing with the Boozers for USA 2 years. Nick Kamini is gonna be on my McDonald's team. So I mean, Sharon Henderson, I played against him JL3. So they have a lot of guys. John Sire's a great coach. Will be a good game.
Love it. Okay, we'll finish with this. What's your motivational message to this BYU basketball team, to your future teammates, and to your guys as they make this critical stretch run down the Big 12?
Stack days, 1% better every day.
Let's go. A Kevin Young man to the core.
Yeah.
Right
simple.
there. Stack those days. AJ, always nice to talk with you, man. Good luck with the rest of your studies and the approaching tournament in South Carolina, but obviously looking forward to seeing you on Saturday for the West Virginia game. Be well, man.
Thank you.